Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Kakadash, double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone. The citation you walk and teach all truth and sincerity. I'm gonna call it the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So this is Amos 5:18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you?" So it's destruction unto you that desire the day of the Lord, cause these people in the Christian church, they always talking about the day of the Lord is gonna be roses and happy day when the Lord comes back, the second coming. I can't wait, but it's gonna be destruction unto you, cause you people in those churches, you're not living right in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, if you're wicked when the Lord comes back, you're gonna get destroyed. You know, that's your end. Destruction's coming to you. You know, it's gonna be a dark and gloomy day. It's not gonna be a happy day, because Yahweh Shai is coming back to judge this earth, to bring fire and to bring fire and to deliver the elect from the destruction to come. But that day is not gonna be a day of happiness, a day of roses and lovey-dovey day. No, it's gonna be a dark day. It says I'm gonna read again. Amos 5:18 says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." So that day is not gonna be. It's gonna be a dark day. And if you're expecting a happy day that day, you're gonna get destroyed. It says in verse 19, "As if a man did flee from a lion." So you flee from a lion in that day. And it says, "And a bear met him." So you flee from a lion, and once you flee from a lion, you meet a bear. It says, or went into the house. So you flee from the bear, you end up going into the house and lean his hand on the wall. And you lean your hand on the wall, and a serpent and a snake bites you. So basically, it's gonna be like you escape one thing, and then you end up getting in another jam. You escape that jam, you get in another jam. It's like what you get in these many jams. There's no way out of the jam, because you keep escaping jams, and the last thing that you're going to receive is a missile. Because if you're not gonna, there's no way out. When judgment is, put down, you can't escape that judgment. It says, verse 20, "Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?" So it's gonna be a dark day, a gloomy day. It's not gonna be a day of happiness. I'm gonna go to Second Esdras 16 and verse 6. This is Second Esdras 16 verse 6. It says, "May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood." So you're not gonna be able to drive away a hungry lion. And it says, "And may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn." You're not gonna be able to stop a fire when it starts. You're not gonna be able to put that fire out that's gonna come when Judgment Day is enacted. It says, "May one turn again the arrow that is shot strong archer, and you're not gonna be able to turn away a arrow from a strong archer. You know, it says, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" And those plagues that are coming from Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, you can't drive those plagues away. Once they're sent, they're coming, and they can't be, quenched. It says, verse 9, "A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?" And that fire is going to come from those nuclear missiles and from the chariots, and that's not going to be quenched or driven away. It says, verse 10, "He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?" And that's all going to come down, and that's not going to be, delayed. It says, "The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder his presence." And that's going to be, all that's going to come from the nuclear missiles and the chariots. And those people are going to be turned into dust. It talks about, but anyway, I'm going to get to that. This is Matthew 24 and 29. It says, this is Matthew 24 and 29. It says, "Immediately after the tribulation in those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. So all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding shall be taken off the streets." It says, "The stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken." So these the nuclear missiles and the chariots shall block out the sun, the moon, the stars. The laser beams are going to blast this place along with the missiles. This place is going to be blasted to smithereens. I'm gonna go to Second Esdras. Go back to Second Esdras 13 and verse 2. It talks about this is Second Esdras 13 verse 2. It says, "And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof." And it says, verse 3, "And I behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him." It's talking about Yahushua coming with chariots, with thousands and thousands of chariots, with thousands and thousands of angels in them. And when he comes back, all the nations are going to tremble and are going to be, scared when they see him. It says, verse 4, "Whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth with the fillet of the fire." And when he comes back, the missiles are going to be dropped, but the laser beams are going to be shot out from the chariot that he's going to be in. And verse 5, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea." And those are the nations that are going to try to fight against Yahushua. And when they try to fight against him, he's going to basically destroy them. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I had seen the region and place without it, and the hill was graven, and I could not. And after I beheld, lo, all they which gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and were yet durst fight." And Yahweh is going to make these nations fight Yahushai. when he comes back, and they're gonna basically be destroyed. It says, lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Because when Yahushua comes back, he's not gonna meet these nations as a man. He's gonna come back in a chariot, and he's gonna blast them with laser beams, and they're gonna be destroyed. It says, verse 10, and but only I saw he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath. At his tongue he cast sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and it fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So when Ezra saw this, he was afraid, because this was a vision that he was having, and this vision is gonna come to pass. Soon come to pass. It says, because these heathens are gearing up to fight against Yahushua when he comes back. This is verse 12, and afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceful multitude, and there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Con. So Yahushua is gonna come back. He's gonna deliver the elect. He's going to destroy the 2/3 and the heathen, and destroy those heathens that are gonna fight against him, and turn them into dust. My next scripture I'm going to get is Isaiah, right quick, Isaiah 13, verse 6. It's Isaiah 13, verse 6. This is Isaiah 13, verse 6. How ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, day of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So the day of the Lord is soon to come. It's not going to be it's going to be darkness, not light. It's not going to be it's going to be a day of judgment. It's going to be a destruction from the Almighty. Verse 7 says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, because all these men that don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are going to turn into women. Verse 8 says, and they shall be afraid, prongs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. So these men are going to, cave when this happens. And they're not going to be strong like the men of the Lord are, because the men of the Lord know that it's the Lord's judgment coming down. And they're not, the men of the Lord are going to be stable in that day. But the 2/3 and these heathens, are going to end up turning into women. Verse 9 says, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. He shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So he's going to destroy the sinners, the heathens within this land. It says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. So all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding won't be amongst these people out here that didn't you know, inquire, take heed to understand what's been going on and what's been preached out here to the four corners of the earth. It says the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And it says, verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. So Esau, because Esau is the most arrogant and proud person on this planet, all that arrogancy is going to be, brought down low, and all the wickedness and iniquity shall be destroyed. It says, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So Esau is going to be brought low, and all the wickedness is going to be destroyed. Verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So a man of the Lord is going to be considered the golden ticket in that day. All you women out here are going to be trying to look for a man of the Lord to protect you from all the things that are going to come upon this wicked country, this wicked society. And you're going to need a man of the Lord to protect you in that day. But that's going to be a precious thing, at least in the times we're coming in. Verse 13 says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, and the day of his fierce anger. So when judgment day comes, the earth is gonna be shaken, and verse 14 it says, it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man take it up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone to his own land. So all these different nations are gonna go back to their own lands, back to their own people, and only deal with their own people. And it says, verse 15, it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So if you're a Jake that wants to protect, if you're a 2/3 Jake that wants to protect Esau, you're going to be killed in the process, because there's going to be a race war. And if you're hand in hand with the enemy at that point, you're going to just be killed. It says, and at this time, it's not going to be a pleasant time. It's going to be a hard time. It says, verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and the wives ravished. So the young children, young men are gonna get destroyed. Young women are gonna get destroyed. The mother, the wife, the women are gonna get raped. It says, verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. They shall have no. Oh, I skipped one. Salakia. But yeah, the women are going to get raped. Verse 17 says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So the Medes are the Russians. The Russians are not going to care about women, men, children. They don't care about anything. They're going to come over here and destroy and conquer and take down the people. It says, verse 19, and 18 says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. And nobody's going to care in that day, including the Russians. It says, "In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." And Sodom and Gomorrah was overthrown by fire. That's how Sodom and Gomorrah got judged, by fire. And that's how America is going to get destroyed, because America is all those kingdoms rolled into one. So it has to get its judgment for all the wickedness that's being promoted and pushed in society. It says, and across the entire earth. It's verse 20. "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabians pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there." So all you nations that have had a hand and over here in America that have drunk that cup and received the benefits of this kingdom. This kingdom, once it's destroyed, you're not gonna come over here and sell merchandise and get rich. Once this place is destroyed, it can never be inhabited again. I'm gonna go back to Matthew 24. This is Matthew 24. This Matthew 24 and 30. It says, and this is Matthew 24 and 30. "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." So when Yahushua come back, when he appears, all the tribes of the earth are going to mourn, because they know, when they see Yahushua, they know that judgment is going to happen, and the way he's going to come back is going to be a miraculous and a strange. It's going to be a strange appearance, a strange arrival. It says, "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect for the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." So Yahushua is going to gather the elect from off the earth to be delivered into the chariots before the last trump is sound. And that's when the elect are going to be delivered, and then the missiles and chariots, the laser beams are going to blast this kingdom and blast the earth, and shake this earth, and destroy all the wickedness and idolaters, the idols and stuff off the earth, and clean this earth up, clean the air, clean the water, clean the entire world of wickedness. This is Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, this is Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, "And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem." It says, "Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth." So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to bring missiles, and the chariots are going to blast and make the fire from the missiles heat up more. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yahweh shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor." And it's going to be in that day, um, all hell going on. Riots, pestilence, plagues. It's not gonna be a day of, all lovey-dovey and happiness. It's gonna be a day of judgment going on, and not just judgment in one place, judgment everywhere. You know. So I'm gonna say all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashin Yahshua Bashun Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone, citation you all can teach all truth, sincerity, and shalom.